What is the biggest challenge you face as an interior designer or architect? I personally feel the different kind of materials available in the industry, their market rates, framing and project estimate, like how do you frame an estimate as per the Indian market standards, how do you handle the client from the beginning of the project till the handover, how you execute a project, like what are the things that you need to do in the initial stage of the project, and what are the things that you need to do at the latter stages. At the same time, you are not aware of the vendor rates, how much does different carpenters, electrician, plumbers and other contractors charge. So without this knowledge, you are not able to kickstart your career. And even if you are planning to start your own business, without these kind of knowledge, you won't be able to position yourself distinctly in this current market scenario. Hello everyone, my name is Randhir Gupta. I have 7 years of experience in this industry. I've interviewed more than 500 students, and I felt that due to the lack of the basic knowledge, they are not able to start off their career. Keeping in mind this current market scenario, I have framed a course which is divided into 4 different modules. We all know that what all you learn in your books and colleges is only 10%. Like when you actually step out in the industry, you will get to know that what all you learn there is very basic, okay, and that is only 10% or maximum 20%, but not beyond that. And you need to have a lot of practical knowledge, industry oriented knowledge, which is going to help you to make a career in this industry. Keeping in mind all that and what I have personally learned in this span of 7 years, I have framed this course. This course is framed into 4 different modules and taken from a very basic level to an advanced level. Whether you have a career, like you have a background in this field of interior designing architecture, or even if you don't have a background, this course could be very helpful for you. So starting with the first part, like the first module of this course, I am going to tell you about the different kind of materials like particle board, MDF, plywood, SDHMR. Like there are so many different kind of materials available nowadays. What are their applications? What are their rates? And how do you finalize a material as per the requirement of the client, as per the taste of the client, and as per the client budget as well. Keeping all these things in mind, what should be your material selection. So we are going to learn about the materials in detail. Moving ahead to the second part of this module, we are going to learn about the finishes, like what are the different kind of finishes available in the current market scenario. This is a very important part because keeping in mind the design requirement, the necessity of the client, the budget of the client, you are going to finalize the finish. So I'm going to tell you like which is the best finish available in the market, what are their cost, what are their applications, and how you should choose them. I'm going to tell you about that. Moving ahead, modular kitchen and wardrobe. Modular kitchen and wardrobe forms one of the most integral part in any residential interior segment nowadays. Like without a proper well planned modular kitchen or wardrobe, no project is complete. So I am going to take you deep into the learning of modular kitchen and wardrobe. In case of modular kitchen, we are going to learn about accessories, hardware, carcass, shutter, finishes, appliance, plumbing and electricals associated in the case of modular kitchen. Similarly, in the case of wardrobe, we are going to bifurcate the wardrobe in different segments and we are going to learn about each of them in detail. By the end, you will be able to plan a kitchen and wardrobe from the scratch for any kind of layout. So by the end of the first module, I am going to teach you about the different kind of materials, finishes, kitchen and wardrobe in detail. Like I am to take you from a very basic level to a very advanced level in all these 4 segments. Moving ahead to the second module, which is primarily about the measurements, vendor rates, project execution plan and project estimation. Now measurements is a very important part. Most of the interior designers and architects who are starting off with their career and people whom I have personally interviewed, I have seen that they are stuck with this measurement thing. They are not aware that how do you measure different kind of entities like fall ceiling, paint, flooring, woodwork, coatings, brick wall, demolition, railing. How do you measure all these things, and what are the different units of measurement, and what are the things that we should keep in mind while taking the measurements of all these segments. So I'm going to take you deep into it and I'm going to help you learn in that in actual industry practice, how do you take these measurements. Moving ahead, the vendor rates, like how much a carpenter is going to charge you, how much a painter is going to charge you, how much electrician is going to charge you. So there are so many vendors associated, like so many contractors and vendors associated to an interior designing project, and I'm going to tell you that how much does he charge depending on the scope of work and the type of work you allot him. If you are aware of the measurement and the vendor rates, if the 50% work of framing an estimate is done. While framing an estimate, apart from these two, you also need to know the material specification, because in an estimate we have the material specifications, we have the quantities, we have the rates, and we have the amount. So if we know about the quantity, rate, and the material specification, you can frame any kind of BOQ. So I am going to tell you about the BOQ in a very detailed way from the scratch. I am going to take an example and I am going to add each and every part of a residential interior designing project, so that you can understand that how you can frame a BOQ from scratch till a very advanced level for a client practically. Moving ahead, project execution plan. Like what should be the plan to execute a project from the very first day? If you don't plan a project properly, a project generally spans from 1 month to a period of 6 months. So if you have not planned a project properly, you are definitely going to mess up, and this takes a lot of experience. So with my experience, what I have felt that this should be the best way of executing a project. I am going to tell you about that. So project execution plan, one of the most integral part. So by the end of the second module, you will be able to understand that how you make a BOQ as per the Indian market standards, how do you put the material specification, how do you take the measurements, how do you calculate the quantities, and how do you finalize the rates, and how do you make a project execution plan. Now all these things are as per the industry, means what I have done for these 100 clients of mine, I am going to tell you about that. So this is not something which is bookish or taught in any college or something. This is something which can only be learned by years of experience in the industry. Moving ahead to the third module, which is about the roles and responsibilities as an interior designer and architect. Now what is your key role and responsibility as an interior designer? I am going to tell you about that. So in that, we are going to learn about site mapping and inspection. Like when a client is closed, he is converted, and you are starting off with the designing of the project, what should be your first step? You will be doing a site inspection, and when you do that site inspection, what are the things that you need to keep in mind? So the measurements, site detailing, do's and don'ts during a site inspection, how do you plan an actual layout, and then the design presentation. Now what is a design presentation? Very important thing. Like when the client is converted and you need to suggest him the designs, you cannot randomly suggest any design to him. You will have to make a proper design presentation keeping in mind the taste and requirement of the client. So how you make such a design presentation, I am going to tell you about that. Moving ahead, the drawings, very important part, like the 3D drawings and the 2D drawings. As an interior designer and architect, you should be very much aware like how you make actual site drawings, on-site civil drawings, woodwork drawings, production drawings, 3D drawings, standard dimensions. Like to make any kind of drawing for any furniture or for a civil part, you should be aware of what are the standard dimensions of all that segments. Like if you don't know the standard dimensions, you cannot make any drawings. So I'm going to tell you that in actual industry practice, what are the standard dimensions of different kind of entities like sofas, dining table, bed, wardrobe, kitchen, false ceiling, flooring, the standard dimensions of all this. If you are aware of the standard dimension of all this, you can very well frame a drawing. So moving ahead from the drawing, the design report. Now you will have to understand that as an interior designer, you need to frame a report where you will take all the inputs from the client once the design is finalized, and you are going to pass on the design report to the person who is getting the project executed, like the project manager or site supervisor. Now how do you actually frame a design report so that there is no communication gap, or what the client has planned or what you have planned for the client, it should be very well executed. So for that, you need to make a very accurate and precise design report. So how do you make a design report in actual industry practice? I'm going to tell you about that. Site responsibilities, like as an interior designer, when you pay a visit to the site, what are the things that you need to keep in mind? How do you handle the vendors? How do you check the quality? How do you appoint the team? How do you do a project handover? See, to start a project, to execute a project, to close a client, all these things are only 20%. The project handover is the most important part. The project handover is the period in which your association with the client can or may get ruined. So in that case, how you sophisticatedly handle a project at the stage of his handover. So I'm going to tell you about that. Moving ahead, in the fourth module, we are going to learn about the materials price list, the estimation of quantity, the project management, and case study. Now, if you talk about the material price list, it is very important for us to know that what is the cost of the different kind of materials associated in an interior designing project as per the Indian market standards. If you are aware of the rate of the materials, and at the same time, if you are aware like how do you calculate the quantity of different kind of materials. And in the second module, I have already told you, I am going to teach you about the vendor rates, like how much does a carpenter charge, how much does an electrician charge. So if you know about the rates of the vendors, you know how to calculate the quantity of the material, and you also know that what is the rate of these materials. You can very easily calculate the cost of any product. So if you can calculate the cost of any product, you can also frame a BOQ very easily. So I am going to tell you that how you calculate the quantity of the material for different kind of products like fall ceiling, for plumbing, for furnitures, for modular kitchen, for wardrobes. I'm going to tell you about that, and I'm also going to give you the price list and prices of all these things. Moving ahead, the role of a project manager. Project manager is someone who is getting the project executed on ground level. So what are the things that he needs to do or she needs to do? So the project analysis, project costing, very important. The first and foremost thing a project manager should do, that he should analyze the project. You should hand over the design report to him, and on the basis of the project estimate and the design report, he is going to do a project analysis, and in the first day itself he is going to calculate the cost of the project, so that you have a target in mind that although say I have charged the client say 20 lakh rupees, but I need to complete the project in 16 lakhs, making a margin of 4 lakhs. So for that, a project analysis and project costing is very important. Moving ahead, how do you finalize different kind of vendors? How do you do bargaining with them? How do you purchase different kind of materials? Project handover, project report, like the project, like the cost, like the amount which you charge from the client is say 20 lakhs, and after doing a project analysis, suppose you fix that the project will be completed in 16 lakhs, but after the project is actually complete, you need to make a project report and see whether the project is completed in 16, 17, 18 or 15 lakhs. So how do you make a project report for that? Moving ahead, we'll do a case study. We'll take a layout plan from the scratch, and we are going to plan that how do you make a BOQ, how do you make different kind of drawings, how do you handle the client as per those drawings, how do you get the designs approved, the project analysis, the project costing, the project report we are going to do for a demo project. So when I talk about this demo project, this will be what some of my projects like which I have actually executed. So this is going to be the fourth module. So by the end of this fourth module, you are going to gain a lot of knowledge which is actually required to start off the career in this industry. So like keeping in mind your counterparts, your colleagues who have just passed out, you can imagine with this kind of knowledge, you can position yourself so distinctly in this highly competitive market. Whether you want to start off with a job or you want to start your own business, these things are going to help you a lot. The course is completely online. You get around 70 hours of pre-recorded videos. You can watch the videos at your own convenience, and if you have a doubt somewhere, you can directly contact me and I'm going to resolve all your doubts. In this tough market scenario, I feel that you should have a mentor who can guide you and can tell you like this should be your approach towards the industry if you really want to create a name or fame. So keeping in mind, I have created this course, and this is taken from a very basic level to a very advanced level. Even if you are a fresher, or even if you are studying, or even if you have completed the course and doing a job somewhere, this is going to help you a lot. Buy the course today. You can find the course on the official website of theskillcompany.com. Thank you.